everybody, welcome back. I am in good spirits today despite the gloominess that's going on outside. Your girl is feeling good, happiness and everything. I had a little breakthrough today, a little discovery, but that's neither here nor there. I am here to bring you another review. It is Teen Mom. I'm gonna say that this episode was it was here. I'm here. It's here. We're all just here. So, it was it was too low to let go. I feel like I call these episodes bridge episodes. Like, I feel like this episode is going to lead us to a better episode next week. It wasn't terribly bad. I'm not going to say that, so don't get me wrong. There was some good things that came out of this episode. So, it was an okay episode. There was some goodness to it, so we're just going to get on into it, okay? So, Kaya. It opens up with Kaya. It picks up from last week where Kaya was in the session with Carla, which is her baby daddy, Xavion's mom. And they were wrapping up. She was still outside with what's that girl's name? I wrote it down because I knew. Tiaja. That's her girlfriend's name. And was just talking to her, saying how they weren't really getting anywhere in the session. But she went back in to try to get some resolution so that they could move forward. And Carla finally was like, I was upset with you because you were the one that I expected more out of. Even though, you were younger than my son, I looked at you as the more responsible one. And that's why when you got pregnant, it was like, okay, I wanted you to be the one that would take my son, to the next level in life. Like, I wanted you to hold my son more accountable. And that was what Kaya was wanting from her. Like, she wanted to know, why was you so upset with me when your son was just as guilty? Like, we made this baby together and he was the one that was older. So that was where the breakthrough started to come through for them too. And I was happy to see that because that was only that they was gonna be able to move forward with having that conversation. Like, she needed to hear that from her. Like, why was you so upset with me? So then the next thing was she did apologize to her. She said, I apologize for being so upset with you and taking all that out on you because, you didn't deserve that. But I just want you to understand this is where I was coming from. This is why I was so upset with you, because I wanted you to be more responsible. And I wanted you to hold my son to, a higher standard and to make him more accountable and more responsible. And, I get it, but it's also like, I feel like you want me to kind of raise your son in a sense. Like K. Michelle said, can't raise a man. Like, I can't raise your son for you. Like, that was your job. Like, if you couldn't make your son more responsible, like, what you expect me to do? Like, I was a child too, so. But at least they got to some kind of resolution, and she got the apology that she wanted, and she also got the information that she wanted to find out the reason why she was so upset with her. So because of that, Carla was like, can I see the baby? And she said, yes. Now, Tiaja, she has an issue with the fact that, Xavion still calls and is involved with Kaya, and it's unrealistic. I understand that, Kaya has a past. And I guess in any relationship, if you're with somebody, they got a past, you feel some kind of way. But you gotta get past that. Like, it is what it is. They have a child together. It is what it is. But she kind of felt like, I don't want to hear about it. Like, I don't want to be around it. But you can't be with the girl and then be like, I don't want to have nothing to do with your baby daddy. I don't want to know about your baby daddy. I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to hear his name. It puts Kaya in a position where she feels like she almost has to choose in a sense. And she already told her multiple times, I don't want to feel like I have to choose. I don't want to keep having this conversation with you. Please stop making me feel like this. Stop making me feel bad for having a child. And that's what happens every time Tiaja gets in these moods and so on and so forth. So what happened was they get in the car. Tiaja was like, so how did it go? She said, we got everything off our chest. She said what she had to say. I said what I had to say. I got my apology. She's coming over to the house to see, the baby's name is Amir. It's the name, it's love in Spanish. And so Tiaja was like, okay, cool. She was like, well, how do you feel about it? She was like, I feel okay. I'm cool. Now, Xavier calls from jail, and this is when Tiaja starts getting her feelings, because she's listening to them having a conversation, because she has him on speakerphone. And he was like, oh, I'm glad that y'all worked this out. And he was like, I called just in time, like I'm going to get to be on the phone with y'all. And she was like, no, actually, I'm just a little bit away from the house. Your call ain't going to be able to last long enough. And he was like, oh, he was getting emotional, like on the phone. And, Kaya was like, is you about to cry? And she was like, oh, that's so sweet, and they're just having this conversation. And it's kind of like Tiaja's not even there. Like, she's just kind of like, oh. But again, she has to have this relationship. This is the father of her child. You can't get upset by that. They're going to have communication. And you should be kind of happy that they're not like a lot of couples do. And it's kind of like, I hate you. I mean, it is what it is. So Tiaja gets upset. They get to the house. She just gets out the car. And Kaya's like calling out to her, Tiaja. She just walks off. So Carla comes, they upstairs. She's holding the baby. She's just thankful to be able to have this moment. And Xavier calls his mom and was like, did you make it to the house? She was like, yeah, I'm here with the baby. I'm just so happy. Baby's laughing. The baby's smiling. The baby's beautiful. We're going to move forward. Me and Kaya, we're just going to make things better from here on out. We're going to just move forward. And they kept showing, the camera kept panning over to Tiaja, and you can just see how she's trying her best, trying to hold it together, but she's just slowly breaking down. But she has to make a choice if she wants to continue this relationship, because Kaya's told him many times, the baby's not going nowhere. Xavier's not going nowhere. Carla's not going nowhere. At this point, really, you're the only one that has a choice to leave. Now, Brianna, she is wanting to get Bryson fitted for a prosthetic arm so that he can get a tricycle, because that is, even though he is functioning with his nub, he's done excellent. He's doing things that they could never imagine him doing, and with his nub, that is one thing that he would need the arm for, is to be able to ride the tricycle. And she was saying that she did not want to get him a prosthetic arm just for regular everyday things until he got older and could make that decision on his own. She said, but she did want to get him a tricycle, because that's something that every child, that's a part of your childhood. So they got him fitted. They got him his tricycle. She was a little nervous about how he would react to it. Would he like it? Would he adapt? And he did. They got it for him. He was outside. He knew exactly what to do, and it was a beautiful thing. I was very happy. I think what I can say I like about Rihanna is she is doing it. She has a child that has a special need, and she's getting it done. So I admire her for the job she's doing with Bryson. Now, Ashley, her and Barr having an issue. Barr had said earlier that he wanted to get a DNA test because of a comment that Ashley had made, that because you were not doing for Holly, you might as well not even be her father. And he took that as, oh, I'm not her father. Oh, I want a DNA test. That's not what she was saying. She wasn't saying you're not her dad. She was saying because you're not present in her life, you're not doing for her, then you might as well not be her dad. Just like before she said, you can't call me your fiance when you're not holding me down, when you're not doing the things that a fiance should do. You don't get the right to call me your fiance. So her grandmother passed, which was her mom's mom, and that was really hard on her and her mom. And her mom is her rock. And you could tell that it was hitting her mom really hard. And so that was having an effect on her because she's like, her mom is her hero. And to see her mom just slowly breaking down, she was like, if my mom can't hold it together, like who am I going to, run to while I'm going through all this with Bar? My mom's my biggest support. So it was hard to see her, them two both going through that. I love her mom. I think her mom is a, wonderful mother. I think she is very balanced and realistic. I think she's really fair, especially with everything that Ashley and Bar have went through over the years. I really do like Ashley's mom. So Bar goes to a bar with his friend and was basically telling him, I think it was his either his friend or his cousin named Briscoe, and was basically saying, yeah, I told Ashley I want a DNA test because of the comment that she was making. She was like, Holly's not even your daughter. And he was like, something like that. And I was like, for real, don't play with me. I love her. Don't play with me. Then she was like, oh, I'm just playing. And he was like, but because she made the comment, I said I want a DNA test. But then, after I sat and thought about it, now I haven't been able to see Holly. I haven't been able to call. She's not answering my phone calls. I'm hurt by this, and I can't talk to her, and I miss my daughter and all this stuff. I don't even want to do the DNA test. I know that's my daughter. She looks, exactly like me and all this other stuff. I'm so over Bar. Bar and Ashley used to be my favorite couple back when the show first started, despite their trying relationship. But I'm like, this is an example of you have to be careful what you say because you can't take words back. You got in a heated argument and Bar is hurt. His feelings is hurt because Ashley is moving on with her life and he is feeling left behind. Even though Ashley has tried to do everything in her power to try to keep him alone with her as she's moving on. But it comes to a point where, Bar, you have to grow up and you just got to become a man and you got to do what a man has to do and be responsible and take control of your life. Ashley can't keep dragging you along. She can't keep doing stuff for you. Like, she has told you what you need to do to continue to be a part of her life, and you're not doing it. Like, she's told you need to get a GED. She's told you need to go to school. She's told you need to get a job. Like, she has laid the roadmap out for you, and you're going over here getting tattoos on your face. Like, you're doing everything except for what she has told you to do to be the man that she needs you to be and wants you to be in her life. Like, I really feel like Ashley really wants him to be in her life. Like, she wants him to be the man for her. But at some point, you gotta kind of accept that maybe he's not going to be the man. So Bar finally called and was like, I don't want to do a DNA test anymore. And Ashley told her mom after the funeral, they were sitting down talking, and she was like, so Bar doesn't want to do a DNA test anymore. So her mom was like, well, that's good, right? So she said, no, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I don't want us to come back up later on down the road. And he's like, he gets mad and he pops off and says, oh, that's why that's not my baby. And I understood that completely because, if you ever had a fight or anything with somebody and they made some kind of outlandish comment, you said that. You was like, no, I want to settle this. I want it to be dead so that you can't throw this up to me. It's like if you owe somebody some money and they was like, oh, no, it's a gift. And then they throw it back up in your face later on and be like, well, you running around out here owing me some money. And you be like, well, girl, let me give you your little money. Here, your little money back. Here, because I don't want you coming back to me later on talking about this money. They be like, oh, no, I was just playing. No, you're not playing. Here, your little money. So she was like, no, I'm going to get this test because I don't want it to come back up ever again that this is not his daughter. Like, I don't want to have to do this anymore. So she said, we're going to go through the courts and we're going to get this test, she said, but I'll make sure that he's the one that has to do it because you're the one that brought it up. So you're going to be the one to get it done. Now, I'm going to leave Kayla for last because I want to talk about how I feel like that situation should have been handled and done. Rachel, I feel like Rachel listened to her mom, but now it's kind of coming back on her, and she's probably sitting here full of regrets. Now, Rachel was the one over here going back and forth between her ex and her boyfriend and not knowing who's the daddy, and now she's kind of sitting here looking crazy. So, Rachel and Jacob are still over here fighting because she was still talking to her ex, and he found out. So, Jacob's in his feelings because he's like, why is Drew still around? And she's like, well, I told you I don't want nothing to do with him. But I don't think Jacob believes that. So he's kind of acting childish and immature, and he's gonna pull back, and he's like, well, he's basically not being as present as he was before, and he's treating Rachel a little bit different because he doesn't really know if she's being honest. And I can understand from past, because if you are unclear on who your baby daddy is, that means that you was sleeping with both people at the same time. So how do I know that you're not doing that again? So she needed to go to the store because the baby needed formula. So she told Jacob, I need you to stay here with the baby. I gotta go to the store. The baby's crying. And Jacob was like, fine, I'm gonna step outside and smoke a cigarette. And then next thing you know, he's gone. So she has to go and wake up her stepdad because Jacob has left somewhere, and she didn't want to take the crying baby to the store. Now, there was one thing I didn't understand about that. Now, I understand that, no, you don't want to take a crying baby to the store. However, I have been to the store many times and seen people in the store with their crying babies. But, okay, I guess you were trying to be a good parent and not take a hollering baby to the store. So she's upset, and she's just like, I'm just about to be done with him. I'm not going to keep doing this with him. He doesn't want to be a dad. Now, technically, we don't know he's the dad, but I get it. He said he was going to step up and be the father. But, yeah, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. So Jacob calls her and was like, hey, let's meet at the lake. Let's hang out. Let's have a good day. So they go to the lake. Her, him, friends, but she says it's too hot for the baby to be out there. So her and Hazley, the baby, get in the car, and she's upset because she's like, I can't stay out here. It's too hot. I'm ready to go. Come on, Jacob, let's go home. This is not fun for me because all I'm doing is sitting in the car with the baby. He's still out there in the lake fishing with his friend, and he's just like, it's not too hot. You're just complaining. You just want everything to be about you. And she's like, no, I don't. It's hot. And the thing is, babies have not fully developed like we have as adults, where they can cool themselves off as easily as we can. So, if it's hot, it's hot, and their bodies is not going to recognize it like us, and they're just heating up. So if she says it's hot and you need to go home. So they get into an argument because she's ready to go and he doesn't want to go, and so she was like, fine, I'm going home. So she tells her friend, let's just go, and she tells him, if I leave and you don't come with me, I'm going to burn up all your stuff. It's going to be on the front and we're over. And he was like, whatever, get the F out of my face. I'm tired of this bull. And she was like, I'm serious. Come with me now. This is not fun for me. And he was like, I'm staying here with my friend. You can go home. I'm not coming with you. And she was like, well, we're going to be done if I leave. And he was like, fine, just get out of my face, and good luck on finding out who your next baby daddy is. Called her a slut, called her a bitch. And this is the guy that you're over here having unprotected sex with again. It just goes back to, you gotta be careful with the choices you make. And I do feel like, if you ever have sex with somebody, just think about it. This is the person that you want to have a child with, because that's the risk you're taking, especially if you're having unprotected sex. So, Yeah. Now, the reason why I wanted to save Kayla for last was because Kayla, the whole time that I've been watching this show, Kayla and Stefan's relationship has been volatile since I've been watching it. I have never liked Stefan. I for so many reasons. Yeah. And this episode just continued to show why I don't like him. Yeah. So, I'm going to say what happened, and I'm going to tell you how I feel like this should have went. So, Stefan decides that he wants to have a meeting with Luke and Kayla to talk about him having visitation and spending time with his son. He tells his girlfriend Madison, I'm going to call him up. I'm going to tell him we're going to have a meeting. I have rights. And she was like, well, okay, I agree with you. I think we should do it. Okay. So he calls for the sit down, and Kayla's like, well, what do you want to talk about? He was like, I just want to talk about, some of the issues we have going on. And, she said, well, we can do that. I'm fine, but I'm not bringing Isaiah. And he was like, I didn't ask you to. And she was like, well, I just wanted to be clear on what the expectations are going to be. Like, I didn't want you to. And he was like, well, fine, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So when he hangs up the phone, he tells his girlfriend, you see how she just went out of her way to make sure that I knew that Isaiah wasn't going to be there. She didn't go out of her way. She just wanted you to know the expectations. So you didn't think he was going to be there, and then you get mad later on once the meeting comes. So Luke says, well, I'm going to tell you now, I don't think this meeting is going to be good. I don't think that we're going to get anywhere. And if he gets out of line, I'm going to put my hands on him. Just so you know. Now, they're getting ready to move in the next couple of months because Luke's supposed to be starting school. But Kayla's also due in 2 months. And she was talking to her mom, and she has not made arrangements for her birth of her next baby. And her mom's like, you need to be getting that together. So when they go for this sit down, it was very awkward and tense. And Madison, Stefan's girlfriend, was like trying to make small talk at first. She was like, oh, I thought this was going to be a better day. Like, I expected better weather. And you can tell, like, Luke and Kayla was not there for it. It was just like, so speak. Like, what did you guys want to talk about? So they just kind of started with, okay, let's talk about why I can't see my son. Kayla said, well, the issue I have is with Madison. When I was pregnant, you said that you was going to beat my ass and cause me to have a miscarriage. And Madison was like, well, I recall that you said that when this baby drops, I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. Like, and she was like, so you don't recall that you said that you was going to fight me? You said, well, we can do it right now. She was like, yeah, I don't. She said, I didn't say that. Like, I didn't say that. And she was like, Stefan, she said that. Come on. Like, if we're not going to tell the truth here, then, I don't even want to do this meeting. Like, I don't even see the purpose of this. And so Stefan was like, you could tell, like, he was scared to say something. So he was just like, well, you guys both said disrespectful things. So at the end of the day, like, let's just be honest. Y'all both said disrespectful things. And he said, at the end of the day, I just want to be president in my child's life. My dad isn't president in my life. I just want to be there for my little man. I have the potential to be a great man. And I just, that's what I want. Kayla said, I'm not here for her being around my child because I don't trust her. And that's the bottom line. Excuse me. So the way that I felt like this meeting should have went, because I didn't understand why the two of them, well, the four of them even had to meet to begin with. But because the four of them met, the first thing that I had an issue with was when Kayla and Luke came. Luke didn't pull her chair out. That was something I didn't understand. It's just, I guess, because of how I was raised and the men in my life, that's just that chivalry. I just don't understand. But when they sat down, it was like the expectations should have been set. Like, Kayla set the first expectation saying that I'm not bringing Isaiah for this reason, because if this is going to be a sit down for us to try to get things established, then this is the reason why I'm not bringing him. And then I feel like before you got off that phone call, you guys should have had some kind of discussion saying what it is that we're going to try to come out of this meeting with, what the expectations are, what we're trying to get accomplished. By just leaving the door open and just saying, okay, we're just going to talk about issues, you should have had some kind of agreement, some kind of outline of what the issues that you want to discuss. Because I felt like them two going back and forth, that's unresolved, and that just made it more drastic. And then for him to go on this tangent, like about to have an emotional breakdown, saying, I have the potential. Potential does not mean anything to me at this point, because you had a long enough time to not just show potential, but to actually put this into action. And you haven't. Like she told him, you have had opportunities to actually have visitations, and you just missed your meeting. So don't come to me now saying, oh, you're gonna let me see my son. So like she told him, well, take me to court. Because his girlfriend up here telling him, you think you're going to have full custody of him? You think you're just going to keep full custody of him? And we not going to be able to have no visitation rights? Well, I do have full custody of him. And if you would like to reconsider this, if you would like for this to be revisited, then there's the court system for that. You don't pay your child support. So therefore, you really don't have rights. You don't have the right to come to me and say that you should be able to visit my son whenever you want to, however you want to, with somebody that you're living with that I don't trust, that I don't feel safe around for myself. So I darn sure don't feel like my child is safe around him. The woman has been beating you up as the man and has threatened to kill my child before they was here. So no, I don't want my child around. But since your girlfriend feels that you have some entitlement to him, then we can go to court with all of this information and see if you'll get any visitation. And that's how I would have said that. And that's how that conversation would have ended. I said, so now moving forward, this will be the last time that we have a meeting like this. Any meeting going forward will be through the lawyers. I will no longer have any conversations with you like this anymore. Because it was just disrespectful. And I just don't feel like they're going to get anywhere doing these little sit downs together. Because it's just too much immaturity. It's too much hurt feeling. It's just too much. So I don't like Stefan. I don't like his girlfriend. I just feel like Stefan has this attitude that he thinks that just because he helped make the baby that he just automatically is entitled. But he's not putting any work in. He's not doing anything that a man is supposed to do as a father. So just because you made the baby don't mean that you're just automatically entitled to just be a part of the child's life. You need to do what you're supposed to do to earn those rights. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to move forward. She still has to let Stefan and them know that she is moving out of the state. I'm sure he's going to act even more of a fool when she tells him that. So, I'm interested in seeing how that's going to go. So, the season is getting good. It's moving right along. People are continuing to show their real colors, and I'm here to see how it's going to all unfold. So until next time, bye everybody.